Hi there, 2033 students. My name is Dr. Melanie Wilderman, and I am an associate professor of journalism in the Gaylord College. I'll be delivering a lot of your video lectures for 2033 this year. Today's lecture is about accuracy. So people tend to believe what they read, and this means that the written word, no matter what form it takes, is very powerful. And people in media jobs who do this writing have a crucial responsibility to provide accurate information. One of the mantras that we have for 2033 is that accuracy is the paramount quality of media writing, meaning that it is the most important quality of media writing. Getting it right is the most important quality. With so much misinformation out there in our digital world, accuracy in our work is even more important than ever before. The more mistakes that we make as media practitioners, the more difficult it is to keep our audience's trust. And audience trust is crucial for our work. One term I'd like to introduce you to while we talk about accuracy is the term gatekeeping. If you're not familiar with that term, think of the media practitioner. So a reporter, an editor, a producer, a director. Think of the media practitioner as the gatekeeper who is in charge of letting certain information in or out of a gate. That's the role that a gatekeeper plays in media. Now, before we had all this technology, media practitioners were sometimes the only gatekeepers. But now that we have all this technology at our hands and we can get our information in so many ways, audience members, consumers can be their own gatekeepers in certain ways. But the gatekeeping role is still an important one in media jobs. So back to accuracy. Let's break down what it means to be accurate. Many of us could probably look at a list of definitions and pick out the definition for accuracy. But when we break it down in terms of media writing, there's some more specificity to it. So first of all, in simple terms, accuracy just means getting it right. However, there can be a lot to getting it right. So for example, getting it right means checking spelling, being correct on your grammar and punctuation. It also means reviewing proper nouns that may not adhere to standard spelling or grammar rules. So, for example, I'm thinking of a restaurant in Norman that is called the Meeting Place. Now, is it meeting, MEETING, or meeting, MEATING? It's actually the second one. So it's a play on the word. And, they serve a lot of different meat there. And so the Meeting Place is accurately spelled MEATING. These are the type of things that you'll want to check to be accurate. In addition to proper nouns, spelling, and punctuation, you'll also want to check any numbers. So that would mean any actual math, right? If there's a statistic in there, check it yourself. Don't rely on other people to do the math. If there's a percentage, right? If there is something with a decimal point, check that out and make sure that it is accurate. But in addition to actual math, other numbers need to be checked, like addresses and phone numbers. We don't want to get those wrong either. In more broad terms, beyond just getting it right, accuracy, something that helps improve our accuracy is to be transparent about the sources that we're using to fact check, but also using credible sources to begin with. Being transparent about them means attributing them in our work, right? According to this particular source, right? We don't want to hide our sourcing from our audience members, because if we're using credible, accurate sources, why would we need to hide that? Something else that helps us with our accuracy is to avoid vague terminology. We want to use specific language. That makes something even more accurate. So instead of saying the business is located on Main Street, go ahead and give the actual address of that business. That's more specific. Instead of saying the athlete is very tall, go ahead and give the athlete's specific actual height. Okay, these things are more accurate, more specific. The depth of our accuracy is also important to overall accuracy. So, in most cases, when I'm referring to depth, what I mean is not just relying on one source, right? To cross reference, cross check our sources and make sure that multiple sources say something similar or the same thing. Or if they don't, that could be an indication that we need to check further or that we need to report multiple sides of an issue, multiple ways that sources are talking about the same event or the same issue. I'll give you an example of just basic facts and cross-referencing and why it's important. So for a while there on the Gaylord website, my title and background information was incorrect. It had just been switched with somebody else's when we were updating the website. So my name was right, but the title and background information was for another professor. So let's say that you were doing a story on me or using me as a source, and you went to the Gaylord website at that time to get information about me, to check my title and background. Normally, the Gaylord website should be a pretty accurate, reliable place to get that information. But if you were looking at it in that exact couple of day period, right, before somebody caught that error, you would get the wrong information. However, if you went to the Gaylord website and then you also like maybe found me on Facebook or LinkedIn and you checked there, you would see that the information on the Gaylord website and the information on my LinkedIn account weren't the same. That would lead you to dig deeper, probably call me and say, you know, hey, which is the right title, which is the right background information. Additionally, by doing that, which is exactly what happened, someone alerted me to the fact that it was wrong on the website and we were able to get that corrected. So don't rely on just one source. Definitely do some cross-referencing and double checking. All right. The quality of our sources is also key for accuracy. So we all need to make sure to not be taken in by fake news. And fake news is not the only way that the quality of a source can be affected. But I do just want to mention here quickly 3 types of fake news. We're going to get more in depth in this later in the semester. But 3 types of fake news that are commonly seen. First of all is satire fake news. So something that's meant to be funny, something that's meant to be humorous, something like theonion.com or Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live or The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Stories are exaggerated or portrayed inaccurately for comedic reasons. Now, this is not usually a dangerous form of fake news. It could be confusing if somebody doesn't get the joke. But anyway, that's just one type of fake news. The second type is more difficult to deal with. Heavily partisan publications that are siding so much with one political ideology that they're basically arguing that anything that goes against their beliefs or their worldview is fake news. This is difficult to deal with. People are really likely to believe this type of information sometimes because it's easy to believe what our worldview is already aligned with. A third type of fake news, incredibly dangerous, incredibly harmful to society, is just the flat out lies and hoaxes. Something that there's no truth in it. It is only meant to create chaos, to mislead people. It's not serving any type of truth or purpose other than just misleading people. Now, we'll come back to this later in the semester when we talk about media literacy, but for now, just be aware of the different types of fake news and that we need to make sure for accuracy purposes that we're not using sources of fake news to check our facts. All right, so then to sum up the accuracy lecture, what I want you to take away, let me pull up a slide so you have a visual reminder here. All right, so accuracy in media writing, a summary of today's lecture. Accuracy is about getting it right, checking spelling, punctuation, proper nouns, math, and any other numbers like addresses. Using credible sources and being transparent to our audiences about those sources, not hiding our sources. Avoiding vague language and using more specific terms. Remember the idea of the athlete's not just tall, give the specific height of the athlete. And finally, accuracy in media writing is about going in depth in our sourcing, cross-referencing our sources, and not relying on just one source. All right, so to summarize all of that then, remember this mantra of 2033. Accuracy is the paramount quality of all media writing. It is the most important quality of media writing. Okay, good luck on your accuracy assignment this week, and I'll see you soon in another lecture.